Hello, welcome to Walpole United WFC.
Good afternoon and welcome to Walpole United WFC, Anthony's Odd Show. With me, Anthony. I'm joined by John, as usual. How's your week been, John?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Watched a bit of Champions League games in the middle of the week, which was entertaining. Fair play to YouTube and Design for showing that. So yeah, not a bad week. How about yourself?
Yeah, no, it's been a great week. It's definitely put you in a better mood when your team, such as United, have won that weekend. And with the Champions League, it just shows the quality in Europe still for someone like Arsenal that have been doing so well to get a bit of a beating. Chelsea, they did well to come back from 3-1 down, but it just shows you, in a way, it shows you if United did get into the Champions League, would we be ready for it? Because you want to give yourself a good account. You don't want to get annihilated. So it does show you that maybe getting into Europe is too soon, and that winning a cup may be the better option. But that's for another topic. I'm sure someone will come out with that someday. But we'll start with last week's results. We had Chelsea v Brighton, which was 3-1 to Chelsea. That went with form and fully expected. We had Aston Villa v Arsenal, which Arsenal won 4-0. Another result we expected. Leicester lost again to Spurs 2-0. And that went to... I predicted that Tottenham would win, but not with the right scoreline. Then you had Reading Everton. Everton won that 3-0, which the scoreline could have been seen as a little bit of a surprise how comfortable it was. Then you had Birmingham Man United. Man United won 2-0. I think we might have been slightly disappointed on how many we did score, but at the end of the day, the 3 points is the main thing. And then Man City West Ham. They've got lots of injuries at the moment, but it's just not clicking for City, and they've got enough quality, but they did lose again at the City Academy Stadium 2-0 this time against West Ham. So we'll briefly talk on the City West Ham game. Where's it going wrong? Because I don't think you can use all the injuries. They've got such a quality side, but then is it the balance of the injuries making the side unbalanced? What do you reckon?
I think when you have to start playing Jill Scott as centre-back, and I know Alex Greenwood's been playing centre-back for a while, but naturally she's not one. You do have to blame the injuries. We were there last season, weren't we? Towards the end of the season, we had a completely very threadbare squad, and it's affected us. So you have to kind of bear that in mind when you're judging City at the moment. They will gradually get players back, and as a United fan, it's good to see that other clubs are now taking advantage. Obviously it helps us as well, and we need to make sure that on the weekend we take advantage as well. Look, it's going to be very difficult for City, but they have still got a good manager. Is he top level? Does he deserve to be at a club at the size of City? I think the jury's still out. Listening to a few City fans, but it's very hard to judge City at the moment with all the injuries that they have, and to a point, all the injuries could actually save Gareth Taylor, because he can use that as an excuse. It sounds silly to say that because he's losing matches, but when you've got so many injuries, you can kind of use that as an excuse. So look, he won't be able to use any excuse against United. Same as we won't be able to use any excuse against City. It's a derby. We both want to win.
100%. Yeah, no, I fully agree what you've said there, John. It's the unbalance of the side, which making it hard for them. But that'll be no excuse. Their fans will be demanding it just as much as us fans for the 3 points. And but going on to the predictions we had last week, for Chelsea, you had 3-0, I had 4-0, so we only got 2 points there each. Kim Little ruined my score prediction with a correct result with her 92nd minute winner, as I had 3-0, you had 3-1. Leicester, you had 1-1 and I had 2-1, so that gave me 2 points. Reading obviously lost to Everton 3-0, and we both had 1-1 there, so no points there. With the Birmingham game against Man United, we were clearly expecting more goals, and we had both 5-0, but it was never in doubt that we weren't going to get the 2 points. And then City West Ham, you had 3-1, and I had seems like a overconfident 4-0, which led that round me another win as 8-6, and after 4 rounds it's 42-32 to me. So it's slowly, the gap's slowly increasing.
Can I just jump in there, Anthony, as well? With that City one, that's twice now City have slipped up against the likes of Tottenham and now West.
Exactly.
West Ham. And
now,
25-1, weren't they? 25-1 on, were they? City to win?
They were on the experts' odds I had to use last week, but after the show was recorded, Sky Bet, the experts there, had it at 16-1. So it was a bit of a drop, but you still fully expected City to win. But we'll go on to this week's fixtures now, and we will start with the all-important game, the Manchester Derby, which is a Saturday 1:30 kickoff, I believe. I'm actually gutted I'm not going to be there. Work calls and a need. Sometimes you have to put stuff as ever hard as it is to be sensible, which is not normally my forte, but I'm sure you'll all be loud and proud and we can get a good result. But we'll go through the odds. The experts have got United at 11-5, the draw at 12-5, and they make City favourites at 19-20. Now, would you agree with the experts? Where would you say they're getting all this knowledge from? Because with all the injuries and the balance, so I would question it myself personally. What's your view on it?
I think it is still very tight in it. So by the sounds of it, City are even, so you double your money there, and the draw and the home win for us would be pretty much, I think that's equivalent to like 2-1, is it? So they're not a massive kind of difference there. So I would kind of like to stress that. You don't know. You don't know what these experts are looking at, do you? Are they looking at previous matches? Are they they can't be looking at the current form or league table.
No.
Obviously they are. That's why the odds are shortened. So I kind of get that. If this was the opening game of the season, or even like last season, I think the odds would be a lot more in favour of Manchester City. So they are obviously looking at the table, but the amount of injuries that they have, I don't know if City are actual favourites. I really don't. I mean, look, if you have a look at their squad, they should be, but lost, was it 3 on the trot now, or 3 out of 4 at least?
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 away game. Hardly any players that they need at their disposal were actually available to play. I don't think that they are favourites, and we'll give our predictions shortly. But this is probably one of the few times where Man United are against the top 3, and you could potentially see them as favourites.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, John. I just think United, unlike the Chelsea game, I think with all the injuries City have got on that, I think the intensity needs to be there from minute one. We need to force them into mistakes. Nothing silly around the back, because we know United are prone for that occasionally, creating their own mistakes. We don't want to give any encouragement to City. So I think from the first whistle, force them into mistakes. Don't give them time on the ball. A bit like you saw Frank Urban. He didn't give our players a minute's rest when we had the ball and the likes of that. And that's how I think we need to go about our business. We're certainly fit enough. And I would agree with you, John. It's touch and go. Like if I was going to put my money in my mouth, I'm on them odds. I'm not going to put City to win because it just wouldn't be worth it. This will be the 7th time we've played each other, which currently stands at 3 wins to City, 2 draws, and the 1 win that United had in the Conti Cup. But like you said, the confidence surely must be a bit low in the camp as well. So we need to take that as a confident thing and just go for it.
We'll be under a bit of pressure as well to get a result.
We will do, because I don't think we've got the result, but I don't think they've been massively brilliant results, other than the Leicester game where for finishing our chances, it's that old thing that United can't seem to do. They can't seem to beat teams 6 and 7-0 hardly. And you've seen in this league that we do need to start putting in results like that, because like I said about Europe, if you do want to compete in Europe, then goal difference is going to play a part.
If I can ask you a question just on this one, just before we get into it more.
No worries.
Manchester City obviously have lost to West Ham and Tottenham. Now, usually we would go into a derby game thinking, okay, if we get a draw, it's not the end of the world. Can you kind of see maybe some of our fan base thinking, well, if Tottenham and West Ham have won them and we can't, can you see us coming under criticism there, Anthony?
With our fan base, definitely yes. You see a lot of it on Twitter, don't you? Where we seem to be very hard fans to please, myself included. Yes, I would be disappointed if we lost, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But I would be disappointed, because I think this is the best time we could be playing them. Hopefully, they still got their injuries. I don't know if they've got anyone back, but I think having people out like Steph Orton and Ellie Roebuck and that certainly help us. So, yeah, if we lost, I would fully expect to see some unhappy people on Twitter. But what would you say? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think even a draw, even though I'll be very happy with it, well, I would say very happy with a draw, but I think a draw would be an achievement, because it's another team who finished in the top 3 last season. I think if we finish above City this season, we'll finish in the top 3. So, a draw, keeping us 6 points ahead of them, I think would be an achievement. However, I think you will see some fans thinking, oh, well, United could only manage a draw at home when you've got the likes of Tottenham and West Ham winning them. Obviously, they're gradually getting injuries back, the players back from injury, so it's not that easy. But yeah, I can kind of see. That's why I'm saying, like, the experts having City as favourites. I can kind of understand it based on history, but based on this moment in time, I don't know if they are. So yeah, shall I give my prediction now?
Yeah. Leading to that, what have you got as your prediction?
I think for the first time ever, I'm actually going to go for a United win here. Not even a draw. I'm going to go for a very bold win. I really think that we can do it. Now, it could go either way. It really could. Of course, it could. I think it'll be tight. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. But I just think that we might have something about us on this occasion where we can finally get the upper hand on one of these top three teams.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you, John. Very tight. It could go either way, but I have gone for 2-1 as well. So I'm being positive because of their problems. Now, you saw me with the prediction against Chelsea, and I was just being a bit more realist, but I generally do think we can beat City, and we don't do 4s and 5s, and I wouldn't expect to do it against someone like City. But I've gone for 2-1 like you, John.
Yeah.
So that's all with the big game on Saturday. We'll move to Chelsea v Leicester. This is the first time they will be playing each other. And I know we've said it before, and it has backfired before, most notably when Spurs beat City. But the experts have Chelsea at 1-50. So in hindsight terms, if you put a tenner on, there's no point because you're just getting 20p profit. The draw is 21-10. Oh, no, sorry, I read the wrong line. 9-1. And you can have Leicester City, if you feel bold and brave, at 25-1. Now, I fully expect them odds. I'm sure you fully expect them odds. Let's get to it. Is there any way you could see Leicester causing an upset? And this is at Kings Meadow, so even
no.
the realist, even the opportunist, the person who's most confident, I'm sure even the Leicester fans like that Hannah that's been on this show will be thinking, yeah.
You could think, okay, are Chelsea a little bit tired from a midweek game? Will Chelsea underestimate Leicester? There are things like that, but let's be honest, Chelsea got a big enough squad and they're professional enough that they should go in this at full strength, physically and mentally. If that's the case, then, you know, if these things do happen, we have seen upsets so far this season, but this will be a massive upset, won't it? You know, I think, I don't even know if Leicester's managed to score a goal yet. I think they might have scored like maybe a couple, but nothing major.
Well, yeah, they have. They scored against us, didn't they?
Scored against us, yeah. I think Yeah, I think, yeah. So I think they've like scored 2, conceded over 10. So all these things to me, you can't fancy Leicester. Look, it could happen, but you got to say the experts have got this one right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You mentioned Champions League football, but I agree with you, John. Their squad is big enough to cope. Look at it. Frank Kirby didn't even start the game, so, and then when she did come on, changed the game. So I fully expect Frank Kirby to start, and then you have got other options that are capable enough. Who is it? I can't remember where it was. I think it might have been the Sky Football show with Sue Smith and that mentioned Beth England. Now, she would get in the majority of the WSL squads, like Sue Smith mentioned. So to have that quality to even play, it would be too strong for Leicester, I feel. So it is a daunting prospect for Leicester. Confidence can't be too high with not picking up any points out of 4 games yet. But leading on to that, prediction time.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will see this as an opportunity to put a market there, and I think a lot of fans are saying Arsenal are the favourites in the WSL, and I can see why. I appreciate Arsenal come unstuck against Barcelona, but that is obviously a different class of team, so you can't really read too much into that regarding WSL. So I think Chelsea want to lay down a marker here, make sure they get another win, get themselves 12 points in total, and get some goals, and I can probably see them doing that as well. I don't see Leicester scoring, so it's just a matter of how many are Chelsea going to score.
But believe it or not, I put 0 by Leicester before you even said that.
Yeah. Well, usually you go a little bit higher than me. I think usually I would go a 3-0, you would go a 4-0, I would go a 4, you would go a 5. I think this time might be the time where I go maybe a little bit too high, because I'm kind of seeing a 5-0 here, and this is quite embarrassing, unfortunately, for Leicester, but I'm seeing a 5-0.
Okay, that's funny, isn't it?
I know.
Believe it or not, that was exactly my prediction. Yeah. I just think they'll get chances, and they're a bit more clinical than us. And I can't see any way around it. I agree with you. I don't think Leicester will score, and I can quite. It could be even more. To be fair, I could have said 6 or 7-0, but I've gone for 5-0. But that now leads us on to Brighton v Tottenham. Now, they've played each other 5 times. Brighton have won twice, a draw once, and Tottenham have won 3 times. They've got Brighton to win at 29-20, the draw at 21/10, and Tottenham at 13-8. Now, they actually have Brighton as slight favourites, but who would have thought that Spurs would be level on points with Arsenal after 4 games? That leads me to a question before we discuss the experts' odds. Could you see them keeping this form up and potentially challenging for a place in Europe, taking advantage of City's misfortune with injuries? How could you see that planning out? Or do you reckon it's one of these ones where they've been quite fortunate and then got the points that they're expected to get, and then you expect them to finish 6th or 7th still? What's your view?
I don't think you can be fortunate and win 4 games out of 4. I think that's down to a bit of talent there. Look, they will start dropping points. I don't think they've got a big enough squad to compete with the top 3 or the top 4 if you include us as well. So I do think that they will start dropping down. It's about Brighton as favourites here. I'm not too sure, if I'm honest. I've been tipping Tottenham to drop points pretty much from the first game of the season, but they haven't. I think I've been predicting draws or something or another. I think at the start of the season I did get it wrong. I thought there would be a lot of top of the league by now. But they're doing okay. Look, I don't think that they'll keep it going, but there is a good chance that they'll keep it going against Brighton. I know Brighton have had a couple of good wins. I think they have done well, but they've also lost a couple as well. So Brighton are they on that downhill slope now. I'm still a bit undecided on this one, so I'll let you break it down. Then I'll come with a prediction.
Okay, yeah, no worries. No, I agree with you. This one, I would say, could be one of the tighter games this week. I think maybe because Brighton are at home, maybe this is the experts thinking, but it is only slight favourites. It's only like a couple of quid in it if you do that sort of stuff. But like I said to you, Brighton are a funny side. That they win when you least expect it. So they are a hard one to work out, Brighton. Sometimes you think they're going to win, and then sometimes they don't. But then you think, oh, they've got no chance against these, and then they go and win. So no, it is a difficult one. But shall I give my prediction first this time?
Yeah, go on then. I know what I'm going to say anyway.
Okay, no worries. Now I do think Spurs are going to drop points this week, but they will still remain undefeated. Okay. I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
I was going to go 1-1 as well.
Well, don't change it. Don't change it. If you think that's what it is.
I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to stick with it because I'm now intrigued to see if you can guess. I have the exact same prediction on each one now. So yeah. I'm going to stick with 1-1. I will stick with 1-1. I agree. Look, this Tottenham will have to start dropping points somewhere. Is this the right game? They could quite easily win this one. I never once had Brighton to win this game. It was either Tottenham to edge it or 1-1. So I think 1-1 is a fair prediction. But if it goes to a 2-1, that could happen as well.
Yeah, it could. I know. I agree with you there. But it's funny how I didn't tell you my predictions before the start, did I? Because we're halfway there, and I know. Might as well do the review. Going back to after 5 rounds, we all drew because we had the same results. So no, I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
one, at least one.
yeah.
But we'll move on to Reading v Aston Villa now. Both had a mixed start. We've talked about Reading losing their experience, which is showing a little bit. They're bottom of the league through goal difference, one of 3 teams. Villa have won 2 and lost 2. These teams have only played twice, with Reading winning 1 and them drawing 1. The experts have Reading at 15-8, the draw at 21-10, and Aston 6-5, making the Villa the favourites. This is another one where I could see it being, I do see it being close. And every time I have gone for Reading to get something or something, they seem to disappoint me. So I might be thinking slightly different this week. But where's it going wrong for Reading? Is it that experience they've lost so much? Is that badly affecting them?
Yeah, it is. Look, they've had a change in obviously a lot of personnel over the summer. Look, even losing 3-0 at home against Everton haven't been on great form, have they? And to lose 3-0 against Everton was really poor. And also the rest of the teams around them are getting stronger. So the likes of Aston Villa is strong. Brighton is strong. We can see, Tottenham is stronger than we thought it was going to be. So I think they're up against it this season. I do. Thankfully, Birmingham aren't as strong. Leicester could come good. We know that they've got some good players there, but they haven't actually shown it just yet. So yeah, without a doubt, Reading looks like they're in trouble this season. As for this game, look, I'm going to say something here with Aston Villa. I've been praising them up a lot this season. That's because I've seen them a couple of times. And they're very organised in that first half against Arsenal. Arsenal was always going to come good against them after 90 minutes. They was never going to hold on for 90 minutes, sitting back the way they were. But are Reading going to give the same kind of penetration that as Arsenal? No, they're not. So for me, I can't see Aston Villa conceding here. I think they're going to be very well organised. I think Aston Villa's going to be disappointed with that Arsenal result, but also feel that a win here could get them 10 points out of the possible 15, which is fantastic. So I think Aston Villa will come here still with confidence. And I fancy Aston Villa to take at least 1 point, but we'll go into that shortly.
Okay, yeah, I think Villa are going to edge it. Myself personally, I think the confidence that they'll have, Reading is short on it, but we do say something has to give eventually. With Reading, they've got to pick up points sooner rather than later, and I think they will. But I don't know where at the moment. Like I see Villa. There's been a few surprise teams at the moment, like the likes of Villa and West Ham, picking up more points than you'd possibly think they would. But with me, I'm going to go for a Villa win. And you saying you didn't think Reading was going to score made me feel grateful, because I've actually gone for a 2-1 win to Villa.
Yeah, so that is slightly different to mine then. Yeah. I was going to say 1-0, but I'm going to go for 2-0. Just because Reading have been leaking goals. I think they've conceded like about 10 so far. Haven't scored. So I know Villa haven't been scoring that much, because I think Villa's only scored 4 so far this season. So they're not free-flowing, but I think because Reading are leaking it, I agree with you. I think 2 goals. But I'm thinking Villa might keep a clean sheet here. So I'm going to say 2-0.
Okay. All right. And that leads us on to Arsenal v Everton. They've played 9 times. Would you believe it or not? Arsenal have won all 9 of them.
Wow.
The experts have Arsenal 2-9. They have the draw at 11-4. And they have... Oh, no, I've read it wrong. Sorry. I keep reading the things. Sorry, they got a 4-1 for a draw, and it's 17-2 for Everton to pull off a result against Arsenal, which you look at that odds compared to maybe say the Leicester City odds, it's a huge gap, even though they're both playing quality teams away from home. I fully expect this to go with form. I just think Arsenal got so much quality. Yeah, they did lose 4-1 the other night, but like we've said, the Champions League's a whole new ball game. There are some quality teams in there, and just they've won all 4 games so far, Arsenal. But you just have to watch the game the other night and see that the WSL has it got. The competition's getting better, and I know people say the Spanish league competition's not so great. So it does have a bit of a balance. Like, does it affect them having more challenging games, or is it better because the likes of Barcelona aren't challenged so much? What do you make?
I think look, Arsenal scored 16 so far this season, just in the WSL. I think Everton's conceded 9. So you can only see Arsenal goals in this. It's just whether or not Everton can keep pace with them. And I don't think they will, because Arsenal's not conceding any goals, apart from in Europe. So I'm going to have to go for an Arsenal win. I think the world doesn't have too much for them. You consider how Everton started the season against the 2 big teams. I appreciate it's the first couple of games of the season. Anything can happen. Their new players had to settle in. It looks like that they are now settling in. So it may not be a heavy loss like 4-0. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But yeah, for me, this is it's got to be an Arsenal win.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. I just can't see where. I can't even see where Everton are going to score to keep it at a draw. To be fair, I fully expect Arsenal to score 3 or 4. I won't give it away yet. I'll let you have your prediction first. But they'll just be full of confidence, Arsenal, won't they? Like, even though they lost the other day, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Man City, and then they've beaten the other 2 teams that are fully expected to win. So, and like Chelsea, they've got so much depth, especially up front now with Nikita Paris, and then all the other attacking midfielders like Mbuchi, Tobin Heath, Beth Mead, Jordan coming back. So for me, I can only see one winner. I fully agree with the experts, but with a prediction, what is your thinking, John?
Definitely going to keep a clean sheet. It's just 3 or 4 goals. I'm probably going to go for 4-0. And I appreciate Everton's getting better, but Arsenal are a better team than Chelsea when Chelsea won Everton, and I just think I can't see how Everton can keep them at bay. You know, I think Arsenal scored 4 against Villa, and I just think that was in one half basically.
Yeah.
I can't see Arsenal not scoring at least 2. So for me, it was either 3 or 4, but I think I'm going to go for 4.
Cool. No, that's interesting. I think our prediction round's going to be based on one game this week. And then even that might be a draw because we might not get the scoreline. But I've gone for 4-0 as well. I just feel like Arsenal, Everton have played and let quite a few goals in, like you said. Arsenal are scoring for fun. So, yeah, I do see a big gap. Even the likes of City scored loads against Everton, and they've not been at full strength. So, yeah, I've gone for 4-0 as well as you. That leads us on to the last game, which is West Ham v Birmingham. Now, they've played 5 times against each other, with West Ham 2 wins, 1 draw, and a Birmingham 1 twice. The experts have West Ham at 4-9. The draw you can get at 11-4, and Birmingham you can have at 5-1. Now, they've both had very different starts to the season. Birmingham, as we know, one of 3 teams struggling, not picked a point up yet. I believe they've only scored 1 goal. Don't quote me on that, but I know they scored against Everton once. So they're not even scoring. I know they limited us to 2-0 last week, but it could have quite easily been 3 or 4 or 5. But it was always going to be difficult breaking them down when you've got 10 players, 11 players behind the ball. So just to get the win there was great. West Ham, on the other hand, have had some great results, obviously with the City result last week. And that, how do you see this one playing out?
I think if both teams go for the win, I really think that West Ham could probably get a good number of goals against them. But if this is going to be a game where Birmingham are going to try and go into this international break and just think to themselves, right, let's just get some points on the board. Let's try and hold out for a 0-0. If that's the case, West Ham could struggle because they may not have the personnel to actually break them down. We saw that we kind of struggled when they basically put all 11 players behind the ball. But I don't know. It depends what kind of mentality Birmingham go into. But I do see West Ham breaking them down. They have scored quite a few goals this season so far. West Ham for like a mid-table kind of team, and Birmingham are leaking goals everywhere as well. So I do see West Ham getting the win. I'm just trying to figure out by how many goals.
Yeah, no, I do my predictions obviously before we come on, whereas you just decide. But it doesn't take me long. I just look at them and go, yeah, I think it'll be that, and that. So, no, I agree what you said. And the terms of Birmingham possibly trying to play for a point, West Ham do have some players that could split them open. You've got Adriana Leon. So she's one to watch out for. She's been doing well this start of the season. I nearly said Alicia Lehman, but I believe she's at Everton now, so I don't want to make myself look stupid.
Aston Villa.
Is it Aston Villa? Oh, I knew it was someone. Yeah. So, but they've still got other players, and they'll be full of confidence. Look, 7 points from 4 games. I just, as much as you'd like to give Birmingham a point or something, or would we? I don't.
It's a local team for me, so I want Birmingham to stay up.
Yeah, I know you do. Like, but what ground do you go to when they ask to look in your boot?
I know.
They don't ask to search the whole car. Oh, so now I know if I want to bring anything, I'll just have it under my seat and not on the boot. Obviously, that's not about me. I'm just joking. I wouldn't do that, but it sort of seemed a bit like
it was an unusual experience. Absolutely.
What was it like? We were going to bring flares in. Like it's like they've been told, "Oh, watch out for the Barmy Army. They're trouble" or something. But moving on, I will give my prediction now. Then I can't see Birmingham scoring, and I've gone for they won't sit back as much. I just think teams only seem to sit back against the bigger teams, and I think it'll be an open game, but I think that will benefit West Ham, and I've gone for a 3-0 win to West Ham.
Okay, I'm going to go for 3-0 as well, because that's what I had in mind. I think it might take them a while to score, because I do think that the Birmingham will sit back a little bit. But I think once they score one, they'll continue to try and they'll have to come out and try and get a point right there, which will leave it open at the back. So it might take a little while to get them scoring, but I think when they do, I'm going to say 3-0. And I know it's a bit boring, the fact that we've all had the same predictions.
Well, join in for next week's show where you find out if any of us can win through the Reading and Aston Villa game. But but no, it is a prediction. It is a prediction.
To remember my predictions because they're the same as yours this week, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, obviously, other than you being non-kind to Reading, we've gone for pretty much the same team to win. Just so one of us is only going to win by 3 points if that's the case. But then it's just one scoreline. You probably find out we'll end up drawing, but I can understand you don't want to extend the gap a bit more, do you? So you're playing safe. You're playing safe like the bottom teams in the WSL.
No, I think that you're just getting to my level of thinking now, Anthony. I think that's what it is. I think I've had a bit of bad luck. What is the overall score at the moment? Have you got that much down?
I'm winning 42-32, so 10-point gap. I think I've won 3 rounds and you won the first weekend's round.
Yeah, beginner's luck. Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm glad it's starting to come right but no, that's pretty much we've gone through. All of it pretty sharp today, but
I just wanted to say one last thing regarding the United game. Then, so obviously with a bit of a prediction show. We both had a 2-1 win. What were your kind of thoughts on why 2-1 win? How do you think we'll set up? Who do you think will score? Because it could still go either way. I think the City fans this time around can also. I think it can go either way. I think rival fans like Chelsea and Arsenal are probably looking at this game thinking it doesn't really matter too much who wins because they're a bit ahead of the 2 Manchester clubs so far. But it's going to be a tight game, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't expect him to change much, really. In terms of personnel, I can't see him changing too much from last week. I fully expect Russo to start because she was brilliant. Discussed on Craney's show Tuesday how she just needs to get into the theme of trying to find a teammate and not trying to take on too much. It reminded me a bit of like a Ronaldo performance where you're doing good, but then you're sort of running into a cul-de-sac. So, but that will come. She's only young with experience and that. I would like to see Hayley Ladd start. I think someone to hold that midfield a bit more when City are attacking, because City will get chances. Don't get me wrong, and they do get chances every game. But it's whether he will. What I've seen of Mark Skinner at the moment, he doesn't like to make too many changes. He seems to have like a squad and that he doesn't make changes unless he has to or if he thinks it will benefit the team. Does he start anyone in midfield? It is hard because obviously with Kirsty Hansen coming back, I fully expect her to go back on the right, which when she come on against Birmingham, she was brilliant. Hopefully Leah's now getting back to her best. She had a brilliant game and got player of the match Sunday. So it's the midfield, isn't it? You've got so many options. You got Tooney. Where do you play Tooney? Tooney at 10. But then who do you have out of Zellum, Jackie, Stanisforth, Boarisa and Hayley Ladd? Now, as much as I like Lucy Stansforth, yes, you know she's not going to shrink a tackle, but she's quite liable to a yellow card. Now, I don't want to think of the worst, but if she gets a bit too carried away and accidentally mistimes one quite bad, she could quite easily get sent off and change the dynamics of the game, which I wouldn't want to risk. I think I would like Hayley to be in there with Jackie. I think there's only a matter of time before Jackie scores. From a selfish point of view, I don't want it to be this Saturday because I'm not there. But like I said, I don't think he'll change the midfield much. I think it'll probably end up with Zellum because she's the captain. I don't know. I know a lot of people are a bit ooh and ah about Zellum, but like I said, it's hard though because if Hanson's fully back, like I've said, and then Tooney, who do you drop? Now, I think out of the ones I've mentioned, I think Stansforth drops to the bench. What's your take on it?
Yeah, you figured it out the same way as the way I looked at it as well. Hanson's got to come back in. I think she took a little knock last week, so that's why she didn't start. But she looked absolutely great when she did come on. So that's your balance right there. You know, Hanson on one side, Galton on the other, Russo up top. If Galton wasn't in form, if she wasn't fully fit, then you could understand why she would be the player rested in place of Hanson. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Hanson's going to come on at the expense of Lucy Staniforth. She always seems to be the first player who gets subbed off anyway. I think she's got subbed off twice now at half time to make room for somebody else. So yeah, that would be Anatoon goes back to a natural position as number 10, which is great. And then as you say, I can't see you dropping Zellum or Jackie for this game. So, you know, you'll have a strong bench when it comes to midfielders. We've seen Carrie Jones come on. You know, so I think we might be a little bit weak up front, but midfielders, we should be okay. Should the back five will speak for itself, and rightly so. You know, they're not doing too bad. I know the Chelsea game, but that was a bit of a one-off against better opposition, you know. So defence isn't a problem in my eyes. It might sound silly after the Chelsea game, but every other game, they've not been too bad, have they, at all? So,
no,
for me, it's about that creativity now, getting that ball to the front three where they can have a clear shot on goal. I think that's the difference between Arsenal and Man United at the moment.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you, John. I think the defence is sound. So much better than last season with the arrival of Hannah Blundell. Forrest has had 6 months to settle, and she's been good so far. You've still got Millie to come back, so that will add more competition. Mm-hmm. The midfield is great. It's just when we do get to January or next year, even maybe, I don't know if he'll buy in January. I do think we do need to get another striker, even though we've got Russo and Martha Thomas. We're still a bit light up front, like you say, but we will see. Hopefully, our weekend won't be ruined by a bad result, but it's always a dangerous one when it's Saturday lunchtime because it can change the mood of your week.
Definitely, especially against
but yeah, definitely, we don't want to lose to City. No one does. So the town's red. We want it to stay red. But on that note, everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to put your score predictions in the box, and you can always answer your take on the questions that have been answered today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And John, would you like to say anything like show-wise?
Yeah. So obviously it's Friday afternoon now. We've got the Friday Night Fan Forum tonight, which I'm looking forward to. There's going to be quite a few of us on there. Some of our favourites as well, and some fans who've come across on the men's game this season who've never attended women's football before, but a couple of those have now come across and they're really enjoying what they're seeing. So we've got that on Friday. Saturday's match day, so we'll get some match day content. I'm not too sure if Ben and Masco is going to do a show in the evening just yet. And then, we'll be on the road on Sunday. So FC United and Coventry are the games that we're visiting this week. So, looking forward to getting out and about with the guys. And, just yourself, Anthony, first time I've actually seen you face-to-face like this since the Stourbridge game. Did you just want to kind of shout out that atmosphere back in Stourbridge? 260 people turned up.
It was a great. I think they liked me because I was saying shoot. I was like, shoot at her, she'll fumble the ball. I even went, didn't I? I even went. I didn't know her name. It's Carly, wasn't it? I went, she'll miss this penalty. but she hit it at her, and she still she had all
Yeah.
the time to work to hit the rebound in. But no, it was great to go and watch some non-league football, and the weather conditions. I like playing in the weather conditions. I don't know how other footballers feel, but I always thought it added to the occasion. But it was a great day. That we obviously went for food. My eyes bigger than my belly ordered a challenge, and by the time it came, I had about 10-15 minutes to wallop it down, which I did. But you discussed you going to certain games. I might pop to Brighton, Tottenham this week. Maybe do a mini scout report on Spurs for all for United. But I think that's everything for now. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, guys, and we'll speak to you later.